and they just kicked the door in. So it's, I'm just in shock. I don't know what's going on. And they're just pointing their guns at me, my mom, and my sister, and they tell us to all get on the ground. My mom was dating a guy at the time. He was like a drug lord. And we lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? So when I say I've kind of lived all around the Midwest, and got caught up in whatever he got caught up in. And one night we are just at home. I remember we're in the living room and suddenly SWAT comes. I mean, running through our yard, like with a bunch of huge assault rifles, and they just kicked the door in. So it's, I'm just in shock. I don't know what's going on. And they're just pointing their guns at me, my mom, and my sister, and they tell us to all get on the ground. So we get on the ground, and I remember I'm on one side of my mom, my sister's on the other side, and they're just holding their guns, like pointing them at us. And I remember hearing my mom yell, "Please don't point your guns at my kids," and she kept saying it, "Please stop pointing your guns at my kids." But they didn't. They just, you know what I'm saying? Like they stayed right there. And like in that moment in my head, I can distinctly remember thinking like, I'm about to die. Not even, and that's the thing. I don't think kids truly understand the finality of death, right? But like something in me was telling me that like, oh, I'm about to die. Like, but they were tearing up the house. They're flipping mattresses. They're pulling dressers out, like throwing everything everywhere. And then when they didn't find anything, they just left and just left our home like that. Yeah, and my mom, she's just weeping, also angry. So it's like I'm watching her, because it's like, what do we do next? And in that moment, my mom, I don't think she knew like to comfort us, because herself was still, even I think, in a very hyper reactive like type of state. And so it's like you experience that, and then the next thing is just kind of like, now we're just cleaning up and we're trying to put it back together, and then you just go on, and then you're told, don't tell anybody about this stuff. So then you're just going to school the next day like nothing happened.